Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Stories podcast this week. And we have a very special guest with us this evening, Captain Ravindra Tammita. Captain Ravindra, pleasure to have you.
Nice to be here.
All right, so how have you been?
Well, I mean, always on the go, so
Right.
new day is a new day.
We were discussing a few moments ago before we started this over here how much of a tight schedule you were in coming to Colombo, going back to Kandy, back and forth, always on the go.
That's how it has always been, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
So, how have you always found, transporting yourself from point A to point B?
Good question, because I was told that I'm the only person people knew that who could be in three places at the same time without getting any party upset.
Is
So,
it?
so I'm at some other place at the same time right now, supporting, helping someone with someone else. So likewise, and yeah, getting around. I think it's all about your priorities, right? If you want to do something, you will always find time for that.
Correct. So, if we mainly set our priorities straight, I think that there would be no excuses to get anywhere or even commit to anything, is
Very,
it?
very true.
Right. So, Captain Tamita, firstly, you have an impressive array of roles: a Rotarian, a President Scout, an entrepreneur, a co-founder of DEA, and a captain in the army. What drives you and your vibrant, multi-faced profile? Okay, like, do you always plan to achieve such diverse accomplishments? And do you have a benchmark of goals which you've set to yourself, saying, "Okay, I want to be this by this."
I don't think I can say that. I don't think I can say that I had a benchmark or I had set some goals. But as it goes, yeah, I get some targets. As life goes on, I get some targets, and mostly, like, if you ask me what drives me, the foundation was always scouting. Right? So because that was my first love. So I started off back in '97 as a junior scout, and that was what made me do other things as well. It could be road track, rotary, scouting, and because of uh, there and everything, they all formed up because of the scouting background.
So scouting was your first love.
First love.
First love.
Yes.
So was scouting the taproot for you to pick on Dea? And you even mentioned, like we were having a little bit of an icebreaker before. Dea had a very significant abbreviation.
Yes, so they are this was it stands for Dazzling Adventure Review Experience. So we first wanted the name. So this there was founded by myself and one of my best friends, another president scout. So we wanted to, like, put what we know into action and, like, earn something from it. To be honest, which we are not doing at the moment. But so we wanted good name, so there was the first thing, or maybe like the best option we came up with. Then after that we tried to put in words to match the abbreviation or the acronym. So then we thought this would be the best.
It's quite a way to mix match things and put them into your passion and then being business driven. So are you necessarily business driven, or are you more in for the purpose?
Purpose, not at all business driven. I'm very bad at business because uh, if anyone asks me to do a program for them, let's say a training program for them, uh, if they aren't available to afford whatever the price, I will rather do it freely. So very bad at business, so I want to find someone to drive that business. I can train a training part.
Right. So then, being a little boy from Gampola, schooled at Trinity College, Kandy,
Yes.
and so many things achieved over the last 3 decades in your entire life, and then being a Rotarian, a President Scout, just give us a bit of an insight on how and why you wanted to do this.
Well, I think at the very early stages, I was always a late starter. If you ask me, I was a late starter. I no, usually you start scouting at the age of, back then it was when you were in grade 3. So I was not a Cub Scout, and even road track, most people join when they are 18, 19, but I joined when I was 23, and people join the army when they are 19. I joined the army when I was 31. So I'm a late starter, but what I think is it's not the start which matters, but the journey and how you exit. So in the childhood arena, as I would again say, the school had a main thing to play in my path because it gave a good background in all the aspects. It could be the studies, it could be the language, the exposure, and the outdoor curricular activities, sports, and everything. So those were the main backbone of this entire journey. So my whole gratitude goes to school.
So college is always the
Yes.
foundation for everything. I think
Yes.
for the most of us out
Most of
there,
us, yes.
we all start somewhere, and that is school, right? So then, if I'm not mistaken, you are an alumni of Kotalavala Defense University as well,
Yes,
correct?
I did my masters. I started my masters in
Okay.
that, but yet to finish it.
Right. So how did you? Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, you went from a little boy in Trinity, a president scout, teaching, and then the army. Is it?
Yes, that's
Right.
true.
So how did you step into the army? Like, most of the kids nowadays would be like, okay, I'm done with my A levels, I want to join the army. Okay, so did you always have that factor where most of the children nowadays, okay, their parents would be in the army, correct? So they would be like, okay, I want to be like Tati someday. I want to be like Ammi. I want to be a major general. So did you have anything like that?
Yes, it was there because my father was also in the army, my uncle was in the army, so I had a big military background.
Correct.
So soon after A levels, soon after my second attempt, uh, my father asked me whether I wanted to join the army. He can arrange it through KDU. But I was the one who decided I will do an external degree outside and then join as a direct enlisted officer. So I think that was a good decision I made because while I was doing the degree or before rather starting the degree, I joined Trinity as a member of the staff, and while teaching, I did the degree part time, and because of that, I got a lot of exposure and free time to experience many social activities. So if I had joined the army that day, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing scouting after school. After leaving school, I wouldn't be joining road track. I wouldn't be in Rotary, and I wouldn't be meeting any of these guys.
Correct. So your upbringing with college and college itself motivated you and molded you into who you are today and taking the decisions of being in the army as well. Is
Yes,
it?
being in the army, let's say it came from the family background. But as you said earlier, right now you mentioned that most of the children or the kids now soon after A-levels they want to join the army. Yes, that is the fact. So even if I had done that, in the army I would have been in a more higher rank, in a higher position. But what I believe is most of the children or most of the kids who join the army in these early ages, they are very restricted to the army background in their prime youth. So they join in their 19s, maybe 18 plus 19s, and they have training until 22 23. Then after passing out, they will be inside as junior officers. They are very restricted, they have very significant roles to play, they don't get leave and all. So until 26 or so, they won't be able to experience that youth, because that is the most important part of the youth. But I think because I did not join at that time, I was able to experience the prime youth in a far more uh, efficient way.
Efficient way, correct. So would you say you escaped the rat race?
I would say that, yes.
Okay, that's wonderful. And like you mentioned before, since you come from a military background as well, did your father always play a very prominent role in your life for you to be motivated to join the army as well?
Yeah, definitely. Because seeing him in the uniform and going to the army camps and all, that was the motivational fact, and experience the facilities as well. So army was like a dream. So, but I wanted to do it in my own way, and for every son or every boy, his father is the
Correct. We will
primary
always be half the man we
role
are
model. Yes.
compared to our fathers.
Yes, and he'll be the main role model in our lives. So, yes.
That's true. Right, so Captain Tamita, in order to achieve anything in life, or if there's any certain target or goal we need to achieve, I'm pretty sure that we've always been driven by our if there's a will, there's a way
Yeah.
to do something, or is it if there's a way, there's a will? If there's a will,
Yes,
there's a
yes,
way.
yes,
Correct,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, well, in order to do anything or achieve anything, discipline is very important.
Yes.
Correct. So, as a scout, I think you inculcated that principle in you. So, if you could tap on how or what is discipline in your vocabulary?
Okay, interesting question. Discipline. I've been always known for discipline. I think from school days until now, because even in school days, all the activities I was involved in required a lot of discipline. Maybe scouting, maybe cadetting. I was a kickboxer, and likewise. So it was always discipline, 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 and uh, even when I went for teaching, so I was like the main discipline master who had to look into discipline. So I had a huge role in huge role to play in disciplining the students as well. So and I think it is increased or enhanced when I came to the army as well. So because our rotary runs on discipline. Yes, so I think self-discipline is a must if you want to achieve anything in life. Yes, so you have to have your targets straight. If you're having targets, like I mean, as I told you before, I don't have those fixed goals or targets. But when you get some target, let's say it may be a short-term target, to achieve that, you should have the discipline.
Right. So inculcating that is the hardest part. Now, again, reflecting upon what you mentioned, just going back a bit
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
question, on your statement that you were latched with teaching. Okay,
Yeah.
so where did the passion for that come? Kids or the love for the college or why teaching itself? Because you don't see a lot of men in particular nowadays, tapping on back to their school to go back and teach. So why did you stick to that?
Okay. I think love for the college as well as scouting, because I joined school particularly not as a official teacher but as the scout master. So but to be a scout master in school, you have to teach something. So I think, and during scouting we had to do all these lectures and stuff for the juniors. So I think that is where the teaching started for me. And those two are the main reasons why teaching came into my life.
Is it so? No regrets thus far.
No regrets
No
at all.
regrets.
That's
So
one of the most satisfying periods in my life.
is it?
Yes.
So looking back at your entire tenure, which over the last 3 decades, everything which you achieved, not a single regret. Nothing.
No.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. That's wonderful. I mean, nowadays you go and ask any teenager per se if you have any regrets in life, they would have probably a list of 1,000 regrets which they have to say, and they've not even made it quarter past life. So, what do you have to say about the children nowadays?
Okay, we are living in different times, so we have to accept the changes that they have gone through. Uh, I see a difference, but I don't think that. I mean, we should be more mature to accept that difference. There are places that I think which can be changed for the betterment, but we have to see how gradually we can do that change.
So, mainly catering ourselves into their shoes rather than letting them cater into ours, is it?
Exactly. So that's one word is empathy, right?
Right.
So, yes.
Correct. Wonderful. Then, setting aside your professional platform with your passion, okay, so I feel like there's a little bit of a link over here. Being in the military and then being a scout, okay, you're exposed to nature a lot, okay? So, you're a very strong advocate for adventure, having cycled from Point Pedro to Dondrahead, climbing Adams Peak around 20 times. How important do you think adventure and travel in life is? Because some people කට්ටියකට travel කිව්වම මහන්සි අරකද මේකද කියලා කොන්දේ අමාරුවල් මේ ගොඩක් කියනවා, and then some people just to run away from the rat race and the corporate lifestyle, they would be like, okay, let me go to උඩ රට කඳුකර පැත්තේ and enjoy their life. So what do you think and what do you have to say about that?
ට්‍රැවල් කිව්වම දැන් ඉස්සර අපි කඳු නගින්න ගියාම මිනිස්සු අපි දිහා බලුවේ අපිට පිස්සු වගේ. So පිස්සුද මේ කඳු බඩ ගන්න ගස් ගඳ ගහගෙන යන්න. So like those are the questions that they asked us.
Right.
But now we see the same people doing the same thing. Most of them as a trend. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් hiking කියන එක දැන් ඇත්තටම ලංකාවේ trend එකක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. So ඒකට යන කට්ටියත් ඉන්නවා. But there are people who really enjoys this. So if you say yes, I'm more connected to nature. It is important. Traveling nature කියන එක මට හිතෙන්නේ important කියලා because it relaxes your mind. So for example, for me, let's say yes, I have climbed Adams Peak 26 times so far. Hope to increase that.
Why?
So
More than 26 times.
26, exactly 26 last February.
Last February.
Yes, so I want to match my age with the times.
Wow,
climbs.
that's
at least minimum.
that's one way to put it.
Yes, so that's the minimum target. So that's one of the targets.
Minimum.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
So let's say now Adams Peak කියනවනේ කතාවට කියනවා මොකද එක සැරයක් නැගගෙන ඇති එකත් මෝඩයා එක සැරේට වඩා නැග්ග එකත් මෝඩයා කියලා ඉතින් මුත් අපි පට්ට මෝඩේ. So but what I feel is it's not the journey or the destination which matters, it's the company.
The company.
So I climb with a different company or even with the same company maybe, but there are always new people. So that journey, that experience is always new with the different company. So what I always believe is company is the prime thing, more than the destination or the journey. Earlier what I believed was it was a journey, but now I realize that it's not the journey itself, but the company who's joining you for that journey.
අර ඉන්න කට්ටියත් එක්ක බ්ලෙන්ඩ් වෙලා කොහොමද යන්නේ ගේම් එකට ගහගෙන යන්නේ.
සෙට් එක කවුද කියන එක ගොඩක් වැදගත්.
Right. So cycling from Point Pedro to Donra Head, how was it? Now you go and tell that to anyone nowadays, they'd start catching their legs and being like, හරි අමාරු වැඩක් කරන්න බැරි දෙයක්.
ඔය ඒක ඇත්තම වුණා මේ ඊයේ පෙරේදා යාපනයේ ඉඳන් බලවඩවදී ඔය කතාව එහෙමම ගියෝ කරන්න බැරි වැඩක් කියලා. I did it with intractors like just 1 month back. So so if I give you a background story of that, that was in 2012. So in road track we had our signature project, Rotary Club of Kandy. We had our signature project that was to do with thalassemia awareness and supporting the kids who had thalassemia. So back in the days, our main projects were like we used to get the kids down to Kandy, take them around to Dalda Malika, Peradine Gardens, give them a meal. So those were the projects that we did for those kids. But then we missed one. We did one major project. We got like them to draw pictures, and we converted them into bookmarks and sold them. Right, and then we did a small donation to the National Thalassemia Center. So that was one of the breakthroughs in that project series.
Right.
Then after that, we got them down to Kandy at the KCC, and we did a concert. They
Right.
performed, right?
The children.
The children. So that was another breakthrough. So after that project, we had a small gap. We couldn't do one project, a thalassemia related project for 1 or 2 years. So then we want to have a good comeback. So while we were at another project, we were thinking how we can do something different, something impactful, and something new. So our main so we want to give some awareness rather than like do this just take them down and share things about make them happy. By additionally to doing that, we want to give awareness about thalassemia so that we can actually maybe try and prevent thalassemia. So ඕක කතා කරකේ ඉද්දී we say every good idea comes up with the ගොන් කතාවකින් කියන්නේ.
ගොන් කතාවකුත් අනිවාර්යෙන් එනවා හොඳ අයිඩියා එකත් එක්ක.
So the ගොන් කතාව which came was පිස්සු පූසා කාටුන් එක බලලා තියෙනවද?
ඔව්.
ඒක අර පූසු සෙට් එක බයිසිකල් එක පූසු 6 දෙනා 7 දෙනා යන්නේ.
ඔව්.
So we wanted to make a bicycle like ride around Kandy to create awareness with a large banner.
Is it?
Right? Yes. So that was the idea, prime idea. So actually we were very into that. We were looking at how we can prepare that bicycle. කොහෙද ගිහිල්ලා bicycle kit එකක් එකතු කරලා හදන්නේ කොහොමද? So likewise we were very into that. But then at that time I was also interested in doing this cycling thing from Point Pedro to Donra. So then I thought why not combine these two ideas together. So I put it up to our team, and they were really happy about it, and that is how this Point Pedro to Donra cycle ride came up. It was called Pedal to Cure, and that was the first major cycling project I organized.
Is it?
Yes, with our club, and it was done for 11 days. We rode around 700 plus kilometers. But it was hard because that was our first experience. Even the organizing part was not easy because we didn't have any experience in that aspect before. So, but after that, until now, we had done another three major cycling projects. Last one, as I told, just ended in April. So after that, we rode around Sri Lanka in 12 days. It was called around Sri Lanka in 12 days. That was inaugural of cancer with the scouts. Then Wheels of Healing, Vaticlo to Colombo in 5 days. And then last, very recent one was Pedal from Jaffna to Colombo for the Rotary 1 Million Trees project.
Right.
So after that main project, then of course the second one was the biggest challenge because that was 12 days and there were a lot of kids involved. I was the scout lead and there were like 50 children who were riding. The smallest kid was just in grade 6.
Oh shit! Can you imagine? The parents?
They trusted me, I guess. So
Wow, that's wonderful. I mean, with nowadays society, that's a big win.
They want grade 6 kid nowadays I don't think they will even join for like 10 kilometers, right?
Is it?
Yeah. But that kid, he's also president scout now. He joined for the entire ride. So that was a wonderful thing. So that was the biggest challenge. But after that, now I think that's the longest distance that we can do in Sri Lanka. So after that, all the other cycling projects, they were nothing.
Is it?
Like very easy to organize. So Wheels of Feeling, we actually organized that in 1.5 months. So
that's quite an achievement, I'd
Quite an
say.
achievement.
අන්තිමට අර මුඩ අදහස තමයි ගොඩ ගියේ.
පිස්සු පූසා තමයි
ගොඩ ගියේ.
ගොඩ ගියේ. So that was the cycling history.
Cycling history, no? Right, so Captain Tammita, you go by various names. Captain Tammita, Tammita Ayya, Tammita Bosa, Captain Sri Lanka. So all these are mainly because of you being bounced around a lot, you know, with being here, being there. Captain කිව්වා වගේ එක තැන මේ නෑ තුන් තැන එකම වෙලාවෙ ඉන්න පුළුවන් මේ මිනිස්සෙක් ඉඳලා. So how important it is now. I know you reflected and mentioned that if you set your priorities right, you can achieve anything. But then balancing your work life with the army and then, you know, the corporate world, the Rotary movement, being a scout leader as well, you know, how do you balance all of these despite the priority factor tapping in? Then හිතමුකෝ එකම තැන එකම තැන තුන් වෙලාවක ඉන්න ඕනේ කියලා. So how would you set that? And, you know, how do you overcome time management, which is, you know, a very big problem nowadays for people? හැමතිස්සෙම කොයි වෙලාවෙ බලුවොත් busy.
Yeah. Okay. I would refer something which one of my ex-girlfriends told me. Something which her father has told her. Who you know is more important than what you know.
Who you know is more important than what you know. Right.
මොකද what you know කියන්නේ අපි දන්න දේ ගොඩක් අඩුයි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපි එක ෆීල්ඩ් එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන් අපි දන්නේ.
අත.
ෆීල්ඩ්ස් ගොඩක් දන්න කට්ටිය ඉන්න පුළුවන් but mainly that is limited.
Correct.
But if we know people of various fields, the things that we can get out of them or done from them
is much
large.
more.
Yes,
Correct.
we have a large scope. So මගේ සර්කල් එකක ඉන්නවා කියන්නේ ඩොක්ටර් කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්, රොටේරියන් කෙනෙක් ඉන්න පුළුවන්, ෆොරස්ට් ඔෆිසර් කෙනෙක් ඉන්න පුළුවන්, ආර්මි එකේ කවුරු ඉන්න පුළුවන්, පොලිසිය කවුරු ඉන්න පුළුවන්. So just one call away I can get lot of things done than rather doing it myself. දැන් මට ඒ ඔක්කොම තිබ්බත් මට ඒ ටික කරන්න වෙලාව නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. As you said, time is very restricted. So that is, I think that I have mastered that at the moment.
Managing time.
Managing people.
Yes. Right.
So ඒක හින්දා තමයි මම හිතන්නේ එකම තැන කීප තැනක ඉන්න වෙලාව හදාගන්න පුළුවන්කම තියෙන්නේ. So මම මේකේ ඉන්න වෙලාවේ මගේ වෙන කොහෙද කරන්න තියෙන වැඩක් මම වෙන කාට හරි කියලා
කරගන්නවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මොනවා වුණත් වැඩේ වෙන්න ඕනේ. වැඩේ වෙන්න ඕනේ. Nothing should stop it. Right. So ඒ දෙක මේ balance කරන එක අපි කොහොම හරි හොයාගන්න ඕනේ.
And it's time management is important. But managing your team or people management is more important.
So have you ever come to a point where you have to say no to certain stuff?
Yes, but recently I told one of our interactors, if I say I am coming 100% I'll be there. if I say I'll see whether I can come, again 80% I'll be there. If I say no, then there's a chance 60% I'll be there.
Still may surprise that then
දෙන්න
පුළුවන්. Right. So that's one way to put it. Well then, I think, it's kindness which treats the world, and you always need to be open to people, because that's the only thing we gain and gauge, and we carry in the end of the day,
Yeah.
not the titles we hold, or monetary things we earn, because හැම දෙයක්ම තාවකාලිකයි.
තාවකාලිකයි.
Okay, so then, being involved in two of the largest movements in the world, okay, Scouting and Rotary, how have they influenced you and affected you? Now, Rotary is also, quite a vast movement. So, now since you do adventure stuff, and then දෙයයි වැඩයි ඔක්කොමත් එක්ක දැන් කණ්ඩත් වෙලාව මේ පොඩ්ඩක් මැනේජ් කරගන්න ඉබේ දැන් කැප්ටන් කැප්ටන් මට කිව්වා මේ ප්ලේන් ටි 3යි බිස්කට් 10කින් දවසක වෙනවා කියලා සමහර වෙලාවට මේ so how did you touch on to Rotary? How did you get involved into Rotary?
Okay, my Rotary journey started as a road tractor. So as I told you before as well, I was not an interactor because I didn't actually see interactors in nowadays interacting as much as scouts were interacting with other people. So that's the main reason. No, I mean no discrimination, but that's how we felt it.
No doubt.
So I was not interested to join interact. So when I was in the staff, when I was teaching at Trinity, our assistant librarian, she was, I should mention her name, Chetanaki. She was a road tractor from Rotary Club of Kandy. So she was always asking from me for certain equipment, stuff, various stuff for their events, right? So this intrigued me, and I asked her, okay, what do you guys do? Road track මොනවද ඔයාලා කරන්නේ කියලා. So she got me down to the library, make me sit down and give me a lecture on starting from the district governor and everything. I got an orientation within two hours, an orientation which would take like a couple of weeks. I got in
2 hours.
Right? So that was interesting. And then she invited me for a meeting. So I was hesitant to go alone, and then I found out one of my classmates was also invited by one of his friends who was in the same club. So we got together and went for this first meeting, and it was okay. There were like 10 members only, but it was interesting. But we didn't have any idea what it was actually was. It was like we are very new to the movement. So yeah, we made it to couple of meetings, then chaired project which was the criteria to become a member, inducted as a member. Then my friend went off. He was a marine engineer, so he went on for his training in a ship, and then I too was busy with other stuff. I mean, at that time I was not interested. If I was interested, I would have found time, as I told you.
True.
So then after he came back, we got together and thought, okay, that we'll go and again attend the meeting and see. So this was after 3 months.
After 3
we
months,
had 3 months like gap from where we stopped.
Right.
Thankfully, they didn't terminate us or anything. Right. So we went, and the main motivational factor for us to come for meetings after that day was there were some nice girls in the to be quite frank. So we kept on coming. So these girls are like best friends now,
right?
Family actually.
Like family.
We are still in touch. So, and that's how my Rotary journey started. So as a road tractor, I was in road track for like 8 years, and I was the ADRR for a couple of years in the last 2 years, and then I joined straight away. I joined Rotary. I think that was the only thing which I was not a late starter. So Rotary was the only thing, and even though I joined Rotary in 2016, at the first few years I was just a member, and I was not very involved because 2016 was a very significant year for me because I transformed from a road tractor to Rotary, and I ended my school career and joined the military. So it was like a whole lot of transformations, and because of those I was not able to get involved in Rotary as much as I was involved in road track. But then after a while I was given the uh, post of youth service director. So this was interesting because I was always working with youth. I was a road tractor, so I thought, okay, why not, and took up the task.
Opportunity. You
Yes.
seize the opportunity.
Seize the opportunity.
Seize the opportunity.
And I think that is the reason why I am here.
Is
That's
it?
why I met all these interactors, including Nabil.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful storyline you have over there on how your journey antenna in Rotract kept. It's still growing.
Yes.
It's still growing.
You are only as old as the ones you associate.
You are only as old as the ones you associate.
Right? So I'm still 19.
So that's 60 වුණාට හිත 16යි.
හිත 16යි.
හිත 16යි. It's wonderful. Well then, so එතනත් no regrets, took up the challenge, faced it.
Yes.
එන බෝලෙට බැට් එක ගහගෙන යනවා.
ගහගෙන යනවා.
Well then, do you really think the concept of death serves as a good reminder for people to live their lives productively? දැන් අපි හැමෝම සමාජයක් වශයෙන් ගත්තොත් හරි. ළමයා ගිහින් දානවා මොන්ටිසෝරි. ඊට පස්සේ then you have school and then after that O level fail නම් foundation. Okay නැත්තම් ඊට පස්සේ මේ A level and then after that uni. ඊට පස්සේ ඔහොම rat race එකේ ඔහොම යනවා. දැන් ඔය වෙනස් විදියකට හිතන සමාජයක් ගොඩක් අඩුයි. ඔය unorthodox විදියට හිතන කට්ටිය ගොඩක්ම අඩුයි. හරිද? ඉතින් ඒ මිනිස්සුන්ට දෙන්න තියෙන මේ මෙසේජ් එක මොකද්ද?
Okay, ඒකත් මගේ පළවෙනි ගර්ල්ෆ්‍රෙන්ඩ් කිව්ව එකක් තියෙනවා.
පළවෙනි ගර්ල්ෆ්‍රෙන්ඩ් ගොඩක් මතක් වෙනවා.
අහන්න කලින් හතරක් ඉඳලා ඉවරයි දැන් හතරක්
නෑ. පහ
තාම හිතලා නෑ. මේ so පළවෙනි එක්කෙනා කිව්ව එකක් තමයි her theme was live for today die another day.
Live for today die another day.
Right, so
Tomorrow is never promised.
Never promised. ඒක අර dead concept එක මම හිතන්නේ හොඳට යනවා.
Mm.
Then other one was one of my instructors from Hillwood, Yahali. But she always tells is you will only live once.
True.
Right? So it's enjoy the day or enjoy your life to the max. When you can.
So that's what you think, Hari. අද දවසේ උපරිම මං ගන්නවා උපරිම ආතලෙක් ගන්නවා එච්චරයි.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, you should have a plan for the future. But I mean, ඒක ගැන ගොඩක් ස්ට්‍රෙස් වෙන්න හොඳ නැහැ.
worry කරන්න
හොඳ නැහැ.
හොඳ නැහැ. Right. So just now since we are always then සමාජයක් what's your views on society nowadays then? Modern okay, let's say teenagers and corporate firms and everyone, because nowadays children are not like how they used to be, right? And since you associate with Rotary and a lot of interactors, a lot of youth nowadays, bridging the generation gap, okay, and making it not a barrier for them to express opinions and us to deliver our opinions to them in a very transparent manner, so that both the parties are balanced. What are your views on that?
I think it's up to us, like the more matured people, to get down to their level and gradually bring them up to a common ground. What I have seen is කෙලින්ම අර කට්ටියව ගන්න හදනවා අපි එතනට යන්නේ නැතුව උඩකට ගන්න හදනවා. එහෙම කරන්න බෑ. There's a saying that if you want to change a system, you have to be in that system. So if you want to put some values into some person or change a system like that, you have to go to that person and that level and first understand that person and then manipulate in a good way. Manipulate in a good way.
Manipulate them in a good way. In a good way, so that we would blend in.
Yes.
Right. So children are important.
Yes, very important, because for the last almost 3 years I've been as a youth service director of Rotary Kandy and also as the DIC. I was involved with lot of children, and I think I can understand their vibe and
Right.
I can understand their thoughts. So because of that, I think when I mingle with them, I know how to put things into their head rather than just as a
Asking them to do this and do that.
like a very ordinary adult. If you can go into that level and bring them like they will come to that ground.
Right. So did the military help you understand children on their psychological factor like that a lot, or
Yes, I would say so because uh, even now when we see the military now, most of the very soldier, most of the soldiers are very young, like just after school. Some even after O levels, even before doing their A levels, they join the military. So we have to be very empathetic towards them. Like they join the army for various reasons, for maybe financial, family issues, since they need a job somehow, and because since we don't have any uh, war war at the present, military is not a very, I mean, they don't have a very hard and fast role to play at the moment, rather than nation development. But we have to be prepared.
National security is very
National security
important.
is important, but they have somehow decided to come and serve the country. So we have to understand their feelings and because and have to be very empathetic towards them. And by being that, I think through them, I was able to even get into the civilian child sector in a more effective manner.
Right. That's quite an understanding you have on, not to impose psychological warfare on people, and you need to balance them as much as we deal with people nowadays. Live mentally,
Yes.
it plays 90% of the role most of the time.
So that's why positive manipulation.
Positive manipulation. It's one way to put it. So, and I think our Captain Kyoage, life is not patta without the katta.
Cutter, yes.
So it's very important so that you have to go through the katta to live life patta.
Patta.
Right. Well, then I think that leaves me with one main question to ask you, Captain. In one sentence, what message would you like to leave to the world? One sentence, just one sentence.
One sentence. I should think on that. Wait, let me think. I would say this. Okay, shall I give you a background story before the stance?
Of course,
Okay.
all ears.
Yeah. So when we were in training in the army during our final stage, uh, we are the ones who organize the Fox Hill Supercross from the army. So our military academy plays a major role, and I was in the ticketing committee. So after the event, we had to go and settle the ticket money and everything. So we were there hanging around, and our junior intake was there. So we were just mingling with them, and I was speaking to one of those kids, and I asked, I wanted to build a conversation. So I asked, okay, so where are you from, and all those basic questions. And I asked, what are the activities that you have done in school, extracurricular activities. So he told he has done scouting and he's a president scout. So that's a good tick for me. Yes, because
Check.
okay, check for me. Okay, someone with similar background. So I was very happy, and I told, okay, I'm also a president scout. Then I did rowing. I was a scout leader as well. Likewise, I gave my background. Then I asked, okay, what else have you done? He told, okay, he has done candidating as well. So that's another.
That's another tick.
So now we are in a very good position, right? So then I was sort of advising him, don't stop scouting because it's important. Like go ahead with rover scouting, do your scout leader stuff and all. Even army may not permit you time, but after a while you find time and somehow proceed on that. Likewise. So then I gave my background story as well. I was doing this, I was teaching, then I came to army, and likewise. He was silent for a while, and then he asked me, sir, before you join the army, did you write a letter to your scouts? Which I did. Right, which I did because my scouts gave a wonderful farewell to me. So after that, I was very emotional, and I wrote a letter, and actually I put it in my Facebook as well. I will share it with you as well. Maybe.
Sure.
No, I mean, I think it's one of my masterpieces. So just how life has been for me, and some advices for my scout troop. So I told, yes, I wrote why, and then he told when he was going to join the army, his scout master gave him a printed document letter and told this was written by one of his friends to his scouts before that person joined the army. That was the same letter. I don't know.
That
how
was
he
the same
got-
letter which
Yes,
you had
yes,
written.
Yes. So I don't know how he got that. So my last verse for them, in that sentence for them is, have you watched the movie LXG?
LXG, yes, I recall.
League
I
of
think.
Extraordinary Gentlemen. It says, uh, "May this century be yours like the last one was mine." So
Wow.
same as that. I wrote, "May this decade be yours as the last one was mine."
Mm-hmm.
And to the youth or to the world, what I would say is, yes, the same thing. May this decade be yours, or may this century be yours as the last one was mine. So go there and achieve what you want, without any hesitance.
Have no regrets in life, and may this decade be yours.
Yes.
Well, that's quite a wonderful set of insights, Captain Ravindra. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, and I think we gorged a lot of deep conversations through that, and deep set of insights, which I think many of us could transpire and aspire to inspire, I'd say. Well, thank you so much for your time, and me taking your time off all the way from Kandy to here. And that was Mr. Captain, or Captain Sri Lanka, Captain Ravindra's story. Thank you, and see you next time.